Hello everyone and happy Sunday. I'm Cheryl Sig, the Solo Cruiser, and welcome to my channel. Now today, unfortunately, I did not get to do my vlog. I wanted to do a review now that the MSC Yacht Club series is over. It was only a 3-day cruise, but I went to compare it to Explorer Journeys just to, say what the differences are and what you can expect and who those experiences will be good for. I didn't get a chance to do the vlog, but I didn't want to leave you without anything. So I thought this would be perfect for me to do a vlog that I've been planning since I went on Explorer Journeys. Now, this is going to be a little different. It's a personal experience, something that I've been going through for a while now. And there's probably a small percentage of you who are definitely going to relate or going to understand the experience. People have started to notice some things, so I definitely want to get this out there. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I've been living a gluten-free lifestyle for about 15 years now. But recently something has changed, and it's big enough that I wanted to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about it for a while, like I said, since Explorer 1. So let's go back and take a look. All right, so here is our menu. As you can see, they do have items marked gluten-free. Over the years, I've become a little less sensitive, although I still need to eat gluten-free. I'm still affected by it. But I have noticed that my sensitivity has lessened, which is why one of the reasons why I talk less about being gluten-free, because I fear that I may not be sensitive enough, or if there's cross-contamination in something, I may not be sensitive enough to notice it. So that's why I kind of don't focus on that as much, but I still eat gluten-free and share my gluten-free dishes. So when they are gluten-free, when I'm certain they're 100% gluten-free with no cross-contamination, then I label it gluten-free, or that I will state that it's gluten-free. All right, so here's the deal. So when I was on Explorer 1 and I was at Sakura Restaurant, I did share a little bit about how I was feeling less sensitive, but I left that out of the vlog because I felt like this needed a bigger moment. This needed a full vlog rather than just a pass-by mentioning of it. And today I'm finally going to share that story with you. Now, this all started back 2024, so last year. The beginning of last year, I accidentally ate something that was not gluten-free. So I looked at the ingredients later and thought, oh my God. But I noticed that I didn't have the reactions that I usually have. I didn't have pain in my fingers. That's usually the first sign immediately. I mean, I had no symptoms at all, and I've been gluten-free for the past 15 years, so usually anytime, even a crumb of something, I can actually get symptoms right away. But this time there was nothing. There was no pain, no bloating, no type of irritation, no muscles twitching, nothing. So this kind of threw me off a little bit. So it took me maybe a couple of days to think, well, hey, am I healed? Am I no longer sensitive to gluten? So I wanted to test it out. I wanted to slowly reintroduce gluten back into my life just to see how I will feel and to see if there was some type of threshold. Because the last thing that I wanted to do is to get sick again from gluten. I will tell you, the last time that I remember having a slice of white bread, and I can tell you, it was 2015. And because I thought, well, maybe it's all in my head or something. So in 2015, I tried to eat a slice of white bread and I was rolling around on the floor, wishing I would die. It was just very painful. So I didn't want that to happen again. So I just took it slow. So over the year 2024, last year, I slowly introduced, bits of gluten into, my food just to test it out. every few days, every once in a while. I increased the frequency, increased the amount of gluten just to see what my sensitivities were. Was it gone? Is there a certain level that I can, ingest? What's going on? So I was very cautious about it. And what I learned was that, yes, I'm still sensitive to gluten. I am not cured, but I did learn that I have a new threshold now. I have a higher tolerance level for gluten. So I noticed that if I eat a lot of gluten at one sitting, or if I eat gluten over a number of days, then my symptoms start to reappear. But even then, right now, it reappears is not as severe as it used to be. However, my concern is that, of course, yes, the more I ingest, the more severe my symptoms may become, and I'll be back at square one. So yes, I'm still sensitive to gluten, but it's a little different now. I guess I have a lower threshold. But then I started to think, well, how did this happen? I don't think it came from out of nowhere. I think some of the things that I've been doing over the past 15 years probably helped, to get me to this point. Well, first of all, being gluten-free for 15 years and not having gluten in my system, I would imagine that would, be a contributor. But also, when I first became aware that I was gluten sensitive, there was a lot of things back then in the day that I used to research a lot, try to understand what the issue was, where it came from, what things may have contributed to it. And so I educated myself on what things to avoid. But not only that, what could I do to possibly make the situation better? And back then, this is back in like 2010, there wasn't a lot of anything about, gluten free things. There wasn't a lot of, first of all, good tasty foods, gluten-free foods as there is today. As far as like going to the doctor and, getting medical help, that was, pretty much non-existent back then. I was sent to specialist after specialist for each symptom, and I ended up spending thousands and thousands of dollars on different tests when all it took was for me to stop eating gluten, and like 85% of my symptoms went away. But more than just changing my diet and going gluten-free, there were still other things that, I tried to do to improve my health and improve my situation. And I remember the very first step that I took. I did some research, and one of the things was the silver fillings in your mouth. Back then, when I was a little girl, they used mercury in your silver fillings, and I read that may have been a contributor to gluten sensitivity. And I had a mouthful of fillings. So I had all of those removed early on, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. I had all of the silver fillings in my mouth removed and replaced. And then over the years, I did a number of things to try to improve my gut health. I've taken a lot of different supplements, but what I'm mainly using now is that, of course, I take my probiotics and a multivitamin. The past 5 years, I've been taking collagen. So I do a collagen regimen every single day. And I do a little mixture. I make my own mixture from extract of turmeric and ginger. Mix that up with a little bit of water, and I take that every morning as well. And also, I have gluten supplements. It's like an enzyme that breaks down gluten that may be present in food. So I used to use that for if I fear cross-contamination, or that something may, have gluten in it, or just a comfort feeling. I would take these enzymes before a meal just in case. So all of these were little small steps that I believe over time, and like I said, being consistent with it over time, that, hopefully maybe that's what got me to this point today. And it's been a long journey because in addition to that, when I first had the issue, I ended up being on thyroid medication because the gluten It was mimicking, I can't remember exactly, but it was attacking my thyroid. And I was starting to develop a goiter. So it's been a lot of changes over the years, and I am so glad that, I decided to try to do something to, do some research to find out things. I didn't know if these things were going to work. I had no idea, but today I'm at a point where, I'm less sensitive. Now, do I plan to start going back to a full gluten diet? No, because like I said, I do have a threshold. But even so, I noticed that when I eat more gluten or a lot of things that have gluten in them, it's not a good feeling. I mean, even if I don't have the pain or the major symptoms, just the overall feeling, I don't know if that's just because I've been away from gluten so long. You know how you stop eating sugar for a while, and then you go back to eating something sweet or having, something, a sugary dessert or something, and it's just overly sweet. So it's like eating something with gluten, especially a large amount or over a number of days, I would just not feel as good. I would feel sluggish. I would get inflammation. It's just not a good feeling over being gluten-free. So now, why am I sharing this? And what does it mean? What does it mean for my channel? Because Sig was solo, introvert, and gluten-free. Well, that's why I'm sharing this. So as I cruise, I will still share gluten-free experiences, but my concern was, especially when it comes to something like, for an example, eating in the buffet. A lot of people, a lot of celiacs, a lot of people who have gluten sensitivity, they don't want to eat in the buffet because of possible cross-contamination. Not from the service, not from the crew, but when you have people ahead of you who are careless about the tongs or the utensils that they use to serve, to scoop up their food, on a buffet. You may have one dish that they're using, a ladle on, and for a dish that's gluten-free, and they may use it for the next item that is not gluten-free and then put it back in the dish that's gluten-free. So that's possible cross-contamination. And for me, now I'm concerned that, well, I may not be able to feel that difference. I may not get sick from cross-contamination anymore. So those were the things that were running through my mind when I discovered that I'm less sensitive, or that I have, a lower tolerance. Because the last thing I want to do is to share information that may get someone else sick. So yes, I still plan to eat gluten-free, but there may be a time where I may want to, try something on a cruise ship, that has gluten in it. So when I'm eating gluten-free, I do want to state that, hey, this is a gluten-free item. I still recommend that anyone who has gluten sensitivity to follow the precautions, the standard precautions that you do on any cruise ship. But yes, I will still continue to look at the gluten-free options, the dining options, in their dining rooms, around the ships, at different eating venues, see what they have to offer, see if there is a variety. I will do that, continue to do that for gluten-free options as well as other food allergens. So I'm still eating gluten-free, and I'm still cautious, but I do feel more comfortable about, possibly experimenting and sampling other things. So yes, this is something that I wanted to share for a while. This has been a long journey. It's been a confusing journey, especially because, this is something that just came about 1 year. Don't know how it happened. I don't know why. And just as suddenly and quickly as it came, suddenly, I'm less sensitive now. And, I can't exactly 100%, say why. So yes, that's where I am today. I'm still gluten sensitive, but just less sensitive with a lower threshold. And it's been a long journey, but I'm really excited to see, what my body can handle now. And I'll keep sharing everything I learn along the way. And I do hope that, some of you can learn from my experiences as well. And hey, if you've had a similar journey or you're in the process of figuring out your own sensitivities, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you're new to gluten-free living, don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm still here to help. And don't forget to subscribe for more cruise and solo travel tips. All right, I will see you in the next video. All right, so what a great day in Costa Maya. So I came back, spent a little time at the pool, came back, showered, and now I got dressed, just a little simple little dress, and headed to SIGCruiser. SIGCruiser is an Asian style restaurant. So headed there, I have I believe it might be 6, 7, I don't know, but I'm just gonna go to see if I can get in early. I think it's at 7 o'clock, but I'm gonna go in and see if I can get in now, or if not, especially if they have a restaurant bar, just to get a pre-dinner drink while I wait for my table. All right, let's get going. SIGCruiser is a beautiful Pan-Asian restaurant with a sushi bar with an outdoor area on the other side. All right, so we are at SIGCruiser, which is Asian themed, and I'm looking at the menu. I have no idea what to get, so this might be one of those times that I get a couple of things off of the menu, because here, this is a ship where you don't have to worry about how many entrees can you get before they start charging you. Everything is included, and you can get as many entrees as you want. All right, let me figure out what I'm gonna get. All right, so here is our menu, and as you can see, it's kind of blurry, but as you can see, they do have items marked gluten-free. Here they call it gluten conscious. So I don't know if that means, some cross-contamination. In addition to the regular menu, they also have a sushi menu as well. And we are firing up the thrusters so we can sail away, leaving Costa Maya. So I'm trying to do, all the time I get on these ships and I'm trying to do something different. So he brought me the wine list, but also a list of other like Japanese cocktails. So I got a Kai cocktail, which is actually, this is it, but it's actually served like a tea. So this is a teapot and this is my Kai. So he poured that in for me. So now I'm gonna give it a taste and see what it tastes like. So we'll go ahead and give this a taste to see what it tastes like. Okay. Now I know it's gin. This is really nice. It's light, it's refreshing, kind of crisp. So not too sweet, which is perfect. Yeah, if you know me, I don't like sweet drinks, so not too sweet at all. So I would actually get this again. All right, and here is my jumbo lump crab salad. And here are scallops. And I also got the lobster pad thai. And also a side of broccoli and rice. So that completes my meal for the. I am too stuffed for dessert, but if you want to see what's for dessert, here you go. This is the desserts menu. Now the lemongrass poached pear is not marked as gluten conscious, but they can remove the raw sugar streusel, which makes it not gluten free. But yes, so those are your choices if you want to have dessert. I'm just too stuffed. All right, just leaving Secura, and dinner was absolutely great. I didn't talk much because another couple came to sit at a table right next to me, and the tables are kind of close. Even if you have the table for two, they're very, very close. So I didn't want to, vlog. I just took a video and pictures of what I ate, but it was very, very delicious. Are you ready to try Explorer Journeys, but don't want to try it alone? Join me on Explorer 2 for my Caribbean Opulence Group Cruise. Check the description box for the link. Now, are you ready for your first or your next cruise and need assistance? Scan the QR code and let's work together to plan your customized cruise experience.